Yes, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Yash Talks Football. I can get my words out. But before we do get into the video that I've been wanting to make, I think for a while, but I think it came at the right time after the Champions League final, especially. But before we do get into it, we are 5 subs off 100 subscribers, so let's get that going as quickly as possible, and then move on to the next milestone of 200, and get this channel growing and growing, which it has done. And big ups to everyone who has been contributing to that. But the player that I wanted to talk about, because there isn't really much transfer news apart from what I've already covered, like with Sesko and Kessia, Zinchenko, that's all happening in the background. There is a few, but I'm going to wait for sort of it to materialize before I decide to talk about it. But I wanted to talk about Jude Bellingham and if he's actually a good player, because as we all know and as we've seen this season, he's come into Real Madrid, playing as a sort of well, striker really, alongside Vinny and Rodrigo in the line, in the front line. Came in from Dortmund, with a massive reputation. I never actually watched Bellingham at Dortmund. I've seen a lot more at Real Madrid, because I don't watch German football, unless it's a Champions League, like I did with Dortmund the other night. And he's coming to Real Madrid. At the start of the season, he was bagging in goals for fun. The hype around him was crazy. But for me, it was a thing that, look, let him. He's scoring the goals now, but let him sort of. Let's see how he plays without the goals, because I think with quite a lot of players, especially now, goals sort of mask a crap performance, if you know what I mean. And he was only getting hyped up for his goals, really. I think he's I think second or third top goal scorer in La Liga. I think Dobovic, the Ukrainian Girona striker, was a top. He was second or third. And I think he was bagging the goals for fun at the start of the season, and everyone was hyping him up. Me, I wasn't hyping him up, but I was acknowledging the fact that he was doing well in that system, and Carlo Ancelotti got him playing. And then when the goals did dry up eventually, especially since the turn of the year, I think we've seen he hasn't been that great. And I watched a fair bit of Real Madrid this season. Um, why I did that, because La Liga is definitely a better league than the Premier League, and I've mentioned that in the past video. I'll link it in the card so you can go check it out. He hasn't been great, and people will say to mask his performance the other night in the final. Yeah, he got an assist. Great. In that final, he was one of the worst players on the pitch. I mean, people are hyping him up because he's got Zidane's football shirt number. He's comparing him to Zidane. The English media, especially because obviously he's English, are comparing him to Zinedine Zidane. But I don't like. I didn't watch Zidane. I wasn't old enough to see him play. But I think even I can tell you that he's not. He's not even half the player Zidane was. Apart from his goal scoring ability, he can't receive the ball. He looks very. Like, he's tall and physical, and that's about it to his game. Really, he's more of an athlete than a player. And I'm not saying he's a crap player, but he's an all right footballer, but in my opinion, he's not all that. And I think I think the PR with him, especially in Spain, it's going to die down now that the fact that Mbappe has come to the club. But look, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below, because this is a topic that I wanted to sort of cover and sort of voice my opinion about. He's not the best footballer we've seen. I think the hype from the English media, especially because he's English as well. And then to top it all off, we see him in the England games, and he looks crap. And look, in my opinion, Ross Barkley is a better player than Bellingham. And even Carlo Ancelotti said in one of his, I think it was post match in the final, he doesn't want him anywhere near the build up play. Therefore, he doesn't want him to be a proper midfielder. He wants him just to be there to sort of maybe help out Vinny and Rodrigo, or score the goals, which he has been doing this season. So, yeah, it is what it is. Make sure you are like, sub, and sharing the content around. Remember, 5 subs off 100. Let's get that going as quickly as possible. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you lot in a bit.